council meeting. It's normally supposed to start at 6 PM. We apologize for the delay, but anytime there's talk of money, it takes a while to get it all straightened out. So we do apologize for that delay. Mary, go ahead and let's do roll call again just for the protocol.
Mayor Pro Tem Liz Silva,
Present.
Councilmember Scott Bond,
Present.
Councilmember Lorraine Worthy,
Present.
Councilmember Maria Cusco,
Present.
and Mayor Jose Rios.
Present. And first off is presentations, sportsmanship awards to our Gonzalez Little League. Are they here?
Yep, got a nice one.
Maybe they're outside.
Oh, no, they're all around.
They've been so good.
Hey, you so kind of help me, I appreciate it.
He's got it. He knows his way around this room. Yeah, yeah.
So we have certificates of outstanding sportsmanship for the Gonzalez Little League. So I'm gonna call the names and for each team. So for the Braves, we have Isaiah Banuelos. He's so big.
Oh, where's the? Sorry, Isaac. My eyes are not that great, so it's your certificate up here that doesn't fall. Certificate for a pizza. Thank you. Appreciate you find out.
For the Dodgers, we have Daniel Vasquez. He's coming over here.
Hello, Daniel. How are you? You're a Dodger? All right.
For the White Sox, we have Miranda Garcia. For the Cardinals, we have Julian Zarate. No, I don't think he's here.
Here?
No, no.
Yes. Okay. Save that for.
For the Braves, we have Max Rios.
Guess they want to be a first steal.
For the Marlins, we have Anthony Cuevas. He's coming right here. For the Giants, Julian Almanza.
Thank you very much.
For the Blue Jays, Mateo Garcia. That's it. For the White Sox, Jacob Arroyo. And for the Angels, Adrian Hernandez. He's coming. What's right
You got, one last thing, it would join us for a picture with the council, appreciate it. We can all move over to the council chat and appreciate it.
Based on height.
And again, this isn't done by any one particular person. It's done as a community. The old adage, it takes a village. We have staff set these things up, but if it wasn't for all the parent volunteers, none of this would be possible. And we sincerely, from my heart, to appreciate all the work that all you parents put into. Plus standing out there in the cold and wind. Wow. Bravo. All right, let's go for it, guys. Thank you. Where do you want? All right. That's great. Thank you again all for coming. All right, moving on, we have a presentation on 4th of July preparations. Who's taking that one?
I will go ahead and lead that,
Okay.
kick it off for us. So yearly, we come back to you just with a kind of landscape of our efforts to prepare for 4th of July. And so today, next slide, please. We'll go briefly over what the plan is. We'll address preparedness efforts, the education and communication campaign that will go out and has started, drone support, and then our staff deployment. Next slide, please. So city messaging, we have started and we'll go really strong this year with just our messaging regarding no illegal fireworks allowed in the city. They'll go in the city manager's report, messaging will, in utility stuffers, flyers, banners have gone up. We are using last year's banners to be cost effective. And working with the folks who are selling the legal fireworks to ensure that they are spreading the message that we are not allowing that illegal or that citations will be given for those caught using illegal fireworks. So we're working with the folks that sell the legal fireworks and are already getting set up. And on social media, we'll drive a hard presence on social media as well that, again, folks who are using illegal fireworks will be cited. Next slide, please. So last year, we amended the time that legal fireworks are allowed in the city. And if you, we are only allowing them till 10:30 p.m. That seemed to help a bit last year. So we'll see if that does something for us this year and continues to, it'll be in an area we'll continue to assess. They're allowed, again, these are legal fireworks allowed in areas clear of dry grass and 15 feet away from buildings. So both our firefighters and our law enforcement will be out there making sure that, again, the legal ones are being used under those safety measures. Anyone that hears or sees illegal fireworks is encouraged to report it, to call 911 so that we can go ahead and address it. And this was something that came up last year. Landlords may be cited if we can clearly point to where an illegal firework was dislodged from, and if it can be proven that it was from their property. So just something for the community to be aware of, that this year, like last year, will be very vigilant on the use of illegal fireworks. And I do want to mention, and I'll pass it over to Chief Wise, that long after the 4th of July, folks were cited for using illegal fireworks. So if folks are using them now, you can already start getting your citations. So we discourage the use of illegal fireworks, or you will be cited. So Chief?
Yeah, so this slide represents stats for the last 4 years. As you can see, it's been pretty self-explanatory. 2021, we had 20 calls, 313 confiscated, 1 citation was issued for that year. Then you go down 22, 23, most recent 2024, we had 91 calls for fireworks, 118 were confiscated, and 13 citations were issued. In addition to, did you already cover max deployment? Next slide. And our drone support, the drone has helped decrease our surveillance on 4th of July. It has also been instrumental in some other cases throughout the city. A total of 77 flights in the fiscal year, anyway, we're almost there, 24, 25. 24 flights were completed for training purposes, 53 were completed for other reasons, and 12 case numbers were generated as part of those numbers for crime reports. Next slide. Am I doing this one too? This slide?
Share about first, and then Chief Musa.
Yeah,
can
so
start
the
it.
police department will have max deployment again this year for the police department. Officers be strategically placed in various areas of the city, on foot, in vehicles, plainclothes, in uniform, and we'll have the drone again up and deployed. I guess that turns it over to you now.
Thank you. And from the fire side, we'll have at least 2 of our own engines out there. Myself, I'll be out there all day and all night. And then we're also gonna get some help. The CTF Fire Department has agreed to station one of their engines in our city for the evening. It will need to be available to go to other calls in South County, but at least they'll be stationed here in Gonzales, so we'll get first crack at them. So my plan is to typically put an engine in all 4 areas of the city, kind of similar to what we did last year, just so we have somebody that's, can be on scene relatively quickly and do a little, community engagement, go around, check people, making sure they're using the safe and sane fireworks safely. That's it. Thank you.
That's all for the presentation on the 4th of July preparedness. If you have any questions, or we can move on to the next item.
I have a question also.
Go ahead. Lorraine?
Sorry, I'm so pushy.
That's good.
Turn on your microphone.
My question is to both Chief and Carmen. Do you think it would be beneficial to have volunteers out there helping and keep an eye out on things?
If I can take that, we discussed that last year
Yeah.
and we erred on side of caution because of the fact that we don't know how somebody violating the law is going to react to a volunteer. So it might be kind of against our own interest. We don't want to fight, for example, to break out or something worse. However, eyes and ears are always welcome. So if we appreciate the volunteers or anybody enjoying the 4th of July that day out here, just to make the call. If you see it, just call 911. We also aired on that side of caution. You do not call the non-emergency number because we don't know when it is going to be a true emergency. So you just call the 911 number instead. So yeah, we decided that volunteers were probably not the best way to go in this situation.
No, yes, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With regards to the numbers that you provided for the last 4 years, I'm assuming that is not only on July 4th. That's a cumulative before, during, and after, correct? Just the one day. Oh, yeah, because around my neighborhood, they go off at any time of the year. One went off last night,
Yeah,
so,
you're alone.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big one, really big.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it's generated from, so I can't call it in. So, okay, thank you. That's all.
Any additional comments, Mr. Cocker, Mr. Russell? No, we're good? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to. Okay, I didn't think on presentations we normally did, but if you say we should, we'll go ahead and take that. Okay,
Yes, we
we're now open to the public for public comment. So now, that's right, Mr. Martinez, you're more than welcome to come up and,
Oh, that's the other one. All right, Henry Martinez Jr. I will be sending a letter to the city and the police department that my 13 properties will not be surveillanced, flown over as we own 400 feet of our airspace without a proper warrant by any of the police officers or the city. Second, after 20 years, I will not be returning to the 4th of July park. I will not be bringing the stands, the toys, nor any of our fun activities that we bring there. What I will say is I will be hosting that party at my house. I will have all the stuff at my house. It will be open to the public. I will be spending upwards of $4,000 in fireworks. out of the city, not within the city. And I will throw the biggest party that this town has ever seen this 4th of July. We will have security to combat the police department because they sent 25 officers last year. And it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be big. So I encourage the public to come over to my house and party with us and stand up for freedom, especially on a Friday night, which makes no sense of a 10:30 curfew. Nobody's working the next day. So it's gonna be great. And finally, like I said earlier, that drone didn't get any money back from it. All 13 of those cases settled out with year probation. No fines, no nothing. You guys were hoping to receive portions of that money back. You guys didn't get a dime out of any of the other people that went to court. So what a waste of money.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Yes.
Henry Martinez, 112 10th Street. Last year, the drone operator parked his drone in his car and 9 other officers came to my house and radio call mutual aid because there was a disturbance or a bad group or something like that, bad group. Well, they needed mutual because we were fighting or were nauseous, loud, or whatever. So they called highway patrol, sheriffs, and the drone operator parked this thing. Well, I'm being assaulted by the drone officer, which is going to be charged later with a felony of 2 assaults with a flashlight. I hope he's not flying the drone, because if he is, then those tickets will be invalid because he's going to be charged with a felony as soon as I get done with my case of being falsely arrested. Because I told the officer, the sergeant, that the video I have is the video of my assault, and I was going to hand it to my lawyer, and my lawyer was going to look at it. Then he charges me what they charging everybody at the protest, of violation of a federal investigation, and threw me in jail. Okay? With the video supposed to have gone to my lawyer first, so the lawyer can look at it, but the police department rushed to arrest me. While he was assaulting me, the city went off like crazy. Where she lived at, they went crazy too, because they knew the drone operator was at my house. And then across the city, where the 2 other council members live, or 3, they went off crazy because they found out that all the police officers were at my house. And you guys are all bragging how nicely the drone did. I go, yeah, he parked there and assaulted me. You know, I'm glad people are standing up now. I'm glad I was standing on Salinas.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. One more,
And this is still what we got 4th of July.
right?
So, background was that I'm gonna help the football team because family, I love them dearly, and the school. And
He's off topic.
still,
Mr. Martinez, we're
Yes.
discussing the
the fireworks situation, yes. So,
4th of July.
what I'm saying, I don't wanna have a safe 4th of July. I get what they did. And I'm still complaining about roads need to be repaired and the city be more safer. 2 days ago, there was a firework that popped off right next to my house. Either sounded like a gunshot or a firework, because I could easily smell the gunpowder off of the fireworks. And only one went off. I don't know. I looked everywhere. I looked around the block for it. Nowhere to be spotted. So I'm here to tell you guys that you need to be on those kind of people who's laying out illegal fireworks. And I hate being surveilled by the drone because it gives me kind of a heartbeat, which I'm having right now. So I respect the firemen going out there all day and night. And I also feel bad for him because he's working hard. And the fire truck still needs to be repaired. But I respect you, my man. Work hard, never give up.
All right, thank you, Mr. Martinez. Anyone else?
No.
No? All right, Marisol, anyone via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Mary, any comments via email?
No.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and just basically accept the staff's report, and we'll move on to item number 4, which is comments from the public not on the agenda. Any member of the public may now address the council for a period not to exceed 2 minutes on any subject not on the agenda. The council will listen to all comments, but will make no comment and take no action.
I need to talk fast, right?
2 minutes?
No, the reason I'm here, and I was here in February, is when I started this conversation about safety on my street, 2 of the streets. And Public Works looked into it and stuff. And then there was a suggestion that we sign up a petition of the people that live in the area in the two streets, and we got those and we turned it in and all that. I expected that subject to be dealt with in the last council meeting, and I didn't see it on the agenda. So that means it wasn't gonna be dealt with. I don't see it on today's agenda. And then I ended up talking to Public Works. And he's a busy gentleman. That's what he's telling me. So if you could cut him some slack so he can finish what we're requesting on the safety thing. 2 weeks ago, somebody lost control of their car and they hit another car, one of our neighbors there, and then he took off. And I don't know if PD has a report on it and stuff. And that's a problem. Somehow these guys think that they can travel from Rincon to my brother's house, kind of going on Del Monte, 40 miles, 50 miles an hour. They punch it. And then so again, I'm asking you, for you guys to do something, or, cut him loose so he can actually tell me, you know what, Pete, we're gonna put these, I don't know what you call them, speed bumps. That's the only thing I know in Salinas, and there's different kinds. And we just want them to slow down, but I hope that you guys have a conversation with Public Works and something gets done before somebody gets hurt. And that's the last thing I want. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Public comment, not on the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, Henry Martinez. I'm surprised to see the officer that charged us, hello, here. But every time I do my investigation at my story at the courthouse, he's not there. And, we're just wondering, was he on vacation or something? But anyway, I was on the front line in Salinas for our rights, for no King Day and the immigration thing. Get back to immigration, we're not a sanctuary city. 3 of you guys been there the longest and never voted for sanctuary city. So how do we expect?
Lorraine, please,
Okay,
no
how do we
comments.
expect him to say he's gonna not help ICE when he doesn't have a mandate to tell him not to help ICE? He has proven over and over that he lies. When I was arrested, he should have told me I had a warrant. I would have come to the police station, handed myself over with my attorney. Instead of lie to me that the car broke down, that he needed help. Hey, come over here, my car broke. Okay? And other people too, they tell us that we don't have a warrant. And then they have a warrant. And again, we're not the type of people who are going to run. How many times do I tell him, arrest me? I want to be arrested. Thank you for arresting me. That's what I needed. We're not going to run. We're citizens of this Gonzales. Is that the Gonzales way, that you tell us we have a warrant and then tell us we don't, and then pick us up so we can't turn ourselves in with the attorney to make sure my rights are not violated? Make sure my attorney, make sure my medication was turned over to the police department, that he refused to grab my medication? My nervousness medication was in the bag. And he refused to hand
Thank
it
you,
to me.
Mr. Martinez.
Through the chair, I just wanted to note that notwithstanding the fact that the city hasn't adopted anything to designate itself as a sanctuary city, the law in the state of California under the California Values Act essentially does the same exact thing. It separates the actions and funding for federal enforcement of the immigration laws from the enforcement actions of individual police departments. So there is a law, there is a mandate, notwithstanding what Ms. Martinez just said.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay.
Well, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but he may be right, but
No, it's not, you may be right. I am right.
he,
Thank you.
so you could say, the law is interpretable, but I'm not getting in there. Whatever that may be, the people themselves need to hear it from our so-called leaders that we will stand with our people. When 80% of this town is Hispanic, you don't see any of them walking around anymore now. No. We had ICE raids here. We had ICE raids in Salinas, our neighboring town. You know what? Speaking of which, Soledad's police department does a better work than our town does. If you guys follow their page on Facebook, they bluntly came out and says, we stand with our people and we will not stand with ICE. The police department has not made one statement saying that they stand with the people. You know, a simple, hey, it's a sanctuary city is enough to put a lot of people at ease. But not saying it leaves a lot of people confused. Yeah, the state is, but it doesn't stop them. They come in here marching if they want to start picking up people. But you guys can stay quiet and continue to say nothing, and they're gonna believe, hey, this is not a sanctuary city. Your words do mean a lot. And for this subject, it will mean a lot to the people of this town. You know, who cares what the law says? It's your guys' words that mean a lot to this town. He gets paid to read the law and interpret it his way, but like I said, you guys need to stand up and make a statement, or else people will continue to be confused and fear for themselves in this town. There's a lot of Hispanic people here.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Anyone else wishing to comment? Thank you. No one else? All right. Well, let me ask Marisol, do we have anyone via Zoom, Marisol?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Mary, any comments via
No
email?
comments via email.
Thank you. Then we'll go ahead and.
Mayor, before you close, I just want to make a statement that the city did provide a statement in regards to everything happening early on. So it's on our social media, it should be on our website. So just want to correct that.
Yes, and I know that for a fact that you and Chief went to the meeting at the high school, made that very clear, and I appreciate that, Chief. Thank you very much for doing so. All right, we'll go ahead and close that and bring it back to council for the consent agenda. It's item 5 through 15. So if you've all had an opportunity to review that, and I believe Mrs. Worthy had an item she wanted to pull.
Yes, I'd like to pull 13, please.
Okay, 13. Anyone else wishing to pull anything out? No? Okay. All right, do you want to pull it completely or just ask questions on it?
No, I just want to bring it back to, for discussion relating to the Measure K list that we have.
Yes, I
And,
think we're pulling it, so.
So let's
Yeah.
go ahead and pull that.
Yeah.
And then we'll go ahead and ask for a motion to approve the remaining consent agenda. All those in favor, oh, excuse me, I apologize. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 13?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Worthy, all yours.
I would just like to have a discussion relating to the Measure K list of funding allocations for the 25-26. And I do want to have a discussion relating to the community action grants. It's $30,000. We've all made a decision that we would like to have our stipends pulled for the upcoming fiscal year. So I personally feel that we need to pull those, or at least push them back, peel them back a little bit. I would prefer to pull them, and I understand that we have a lot of people from our organizations that depend on those community action grants, but many of the people that have received those community action grants have been the same groups that have been receiving them the entire time. And we have always said that it was supposed to be a funding source for them to get started. That's how it was always presented when we started this group. And as I said, I have spoken to a couple of the groups who've told me that they knew that this was kind of coming and that they have been asking for donations from people. And, this is something that I really feel strongly about. And I would like to have a discussion about it with the rest of you, if possible. Thank you.
Do you want to make any comments, Liz, or should I move over to?
Well, I can't open the item on here, so I'm having technical difficulties
Yeah,
today.
the printout you have is the good.
I got this printout, but it does, with regards to what Lorraine is talking about, the community action grants, there's no detail as to, is that?
Got them?
No, so this, what this motion does is approves the 30,000, then it still goes back to a subcommittee of the
Oh, I see.
Measure K Oversight Committee after applications are received as to how the breakdown will occur.
So for clarification, Councilmember Worthy, you're suggesting we remove the 30,000 from the list, correct? Okay, yeah.
And then is there a place to reallocate it? I mean, because
Well, my question was, is it possible to put it into reserves? Can we do that, Michael?
I don't think so.
We'll have to fit into
Yes, you can. And there's evidence of other jurisdictions with oversight committees that as part of the allocation of those funds, they have funded the reserve. So it means it can't be used for operational expenses. It would actually be earmarked over for reserves.
And question was also put it back into the general fund.
Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah.
It would be the general fund reserve. Yeah. Because these are general fund revenues. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, and my thought was more, I thought it had to be specific to this list of things that we have here. And I was thinking more, is it possible to pay down the debt of the pool a little faster? But I see where she's coming from for the reserves, because the reserves are depleted. Yeah, I can hear like the water going down the drain. It's like, so, okay, I better understand it now, or I understand it better now.
Questions, concerns, Mr. Funk, Ms. Orozco?
When we first, and Scott, you will probably remember when we first passed Measure K, when we were advocating for Measure K and telling the public that Measure K was going to be to help support senior programs, recreation and youth programs. That was one of the biggest pushes for us to pass Measure K. So it's, I know some of the programs that we fund or some of the projects that are done under the community grants really do service and meet the gap that we're not able to provide services for, like the seniors and the youth. So it's kind of hard to pull back and say, well, those are some of the programs that we're not going to be able to serve now if we pull out these community grants. I'd like to see what it would look like, the financial numbers coming back in terms of doing away with our stipends and what that amount will look like and how we can maybe tweak.
It's on the list of stipends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion's already been made.
Right, she's suggesting,
No.
understanding what that.
Not to bring it,
what
not
that-
to bring, it's already been decided, but
Yeah.
in terms of the amount of what it would equate to. But whatever this council decides.
Ms. Funk?
Yeah, I don't think we should eliminate it completely. I know we increased it last few years and so forth. Yeah, and it was discussed at the Measure K. I don't know that we discussed removing it at the Measure K committee, so I think that'd be a surprise to the committee. We did discuss the amount of it and so forth for sure. And I know out of the Measure K committee, this was the amount, this was the, you know, the line, if you will, that was recommended. I know earlier, in the earlier conversation, we're talking about aquatics and so forth, and I know, you know, the city manager, you know, noted in the comments on the sheet in front of us, so forth, that, you know, we weren't going to impact aquatic, you know, aquatic program, if you will, right? And I know, you know, Carmen, you know, mentioned earlier, you know, the overall impact per se, as far as year over year, we're actually increasing as opposed to decreasing. It's just a matter of Measure K funding per se wasn't as much. Measure K funding wasn't going to aquatics as, you know, last year, but to, I guess, the overall point, it's going to come out of the general fund. I can definitely see potentially decreasing, you know, back down to where we were a couple of years ago, potentially down the 20,000 range, and then reallocating the, you know, the dollars into another column. I don't know. I don't like the idea of putting it into reserve, because then reserve is kind of, you know, that's ambiguous, and that's, you know, where does it go? You know, and I like the idea of, you know, kind of back to the committee component. We're allocating the funds to something specific, and it's easier to walk away, say that we allocated, you know, in this case, our, you know, tax revenue specifically to a service, as opposed to an ambiguous, you know, pot, if you will, that may go, you know, may go anywhere. But anyhow, yeah, I wouldn't be against decreasing it. I don't know that I like the idea of removing it completely. If we did, either way, whether we decrease it or remove it, I think we should allocate it to, you know, something either on this list or another activity. Now, again, all these activities on here are at some point in the general fund. So if we allocate it to, you know, another item on this list, that just means less funds out of the general fund, right? General fund dollars, because it's gonna be Measure K funds replacing it, those dollars. But my thoughts.
And yeah, and if I may, and Lorraine, if I recall, there were some groups that applied multiple times for funding. And maybe taking a look at.
Most of the groups, Maria, just, for everybody's information, most of the groups that have applied have been the same groups.
Right.
I mean, many of them. So
But not all.
but that's
But not all.
because
Be
we
clear,
don't have.
Not
a
all
lot
of them are,
other
not all of them
people.
are repeats. We did have new groups as last year.
Yeah, we have.
And we had groups the prior year.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but I am saying that most of them are repeats, most of them. You know, like, for example, the Adventure Seeking Seniors, the Cinco de Mayo, the Dia de los Muertos, the what's the other one? The Day of the Child, Dia de los Niños. Let's see, what other one did we, oh, the Smiles, the Christmas, the Smiles, which, listen, I'm not saying that I don't want the groups to continue. I'm just saying, I mean, I have been looking at this budget now for quite a long time, and I keep seeing everything dwindle. And, you know, I can't run my house like that. So I'm looking at the city and I'm concerned. I can't help but be concerned. So I keep looking at it, trying to figure out different things that we can do. But of course, whatever everybody wants to do that sits up here, I am a team player, you know, so.
Okay, so I'd like to end the discussion and say I will entertain a motion for either cutting it or eliminating it, but I need a motion somehow so that we can move forward with whatever our comments are to staff to, I should open this up to the public if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
It's been pulled item, so anyone from the public wishing to comment on this item may do so at this time. Seeing no rushing the podium. Marisol, do we have any comments via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Okay. Mary, comments via email? Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the public comment part of this and bring it back to council. So I need a motion and I'm listening.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to eliminate the community action grants and put them into, now I forgot what the word is, reserves in the general fund. if possible. That's what my motion is.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Is there a specific fund for the reserves, or they're just kind of there?
The reserve is the general fund reserve. It just means it wouldn't be allocated to another expense. So if I could just interject a little bit to some of the comments that were made by Councilmember Orozco. If you chose, right now, the community action grants are a standalone expense, so it's an expense going out. If you chose to, so one option is to just not expend it at all and let it just drop to the reserves and build our reserves back up. The other would be to reallocate it to programming, so recreation, which would reduce the current expenses, which in turn will increase the reserves, but it doesn't specifically earmark it to not be spent at all. Either one will have basically the same effect on the general fund, as long as we don't, I mean, if we overspend, then it hasn't affected the general fund. In the motion that was made, if we overspend, the reserve still kind of builds back up because it can't be used for operations. So, but either action pretty much has the same effect on the bottom line, as long as it's reducing current expenses within the general fund. Okay.
So the expenses?
Yes. It would leave the budget intact the way it is right now. We would just not spend that $30,000. It wouldn't reduce any other expenses in the general fund.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I didn't hear anything on this side.
We gotta ask for the no votes.
Okay, can I get the no votes? Who's no?
Oh, no,
No.
not as presented.
And you've got three. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Does that give staff enough direction? Thank you. All right, moving on to the regular agenda item. The first item is Tri-Cities contract, and I believe that is Mr. Dobbins who will be speaking on that.
Correct.
Mr. Dobbins, would you read the whole thing for the record, please?
Absolutely. So the recommendation is that the council agency board resolution number 2025-42, a joint resolution of the city council. Sorry, I'm not on the right item. That's why I was stumbling. All right, so now we're on item 15. Sorry, Mayor Rios. It is recommended that the city council adopt resolution 2025-40. My God. So sorry. All
That's
right.
okay.
Now for the real item 16. That shouldn't be this hard. It is recommended that the city council adopt resolution 2025-41, a resolution of the city council of the city of Gonzales approving an agreement between the city of Gonzales, city of Soledad, city of Greenfield, and Tri-Cities Disposal and Recycling Services from July 1st, 2025 through June 30, 2035 in substantial form and content, and authorizing the city manager to execute said agreement on behalf of the city of Gonzales and approving the fiscal year 2025-26 garbage collection and disposal rates. Let's see, I have a slide deck, and first I want to introduce, Patrick Matthews of the Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority will be stepping through this slide deck. It is brief, but I want to also mention that he's joined with Elia. Thank you, Tom Barallo of Tri-Cities Disposal, Mallory Treelevin, project manager with Tri-Cities Disposal. Take it away.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I'm Patrick Matthews, General Manager and CAO with your solid waste operating JPA, Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority, otherwise known as Salinas Valley Recycles. We are your contract administrator, as we are contract administrator for all the South Valley garbage, recycling, and organics collection franchises. So just a little background, real quick background. This all started in 2021, 22. As we saw all of the cities in the valley, including the city of Salinas and Monterey County, all had coterminous agreements, meaning that all the agreements for all of the valley entities that we represent, their agreements were all expiring June 30th of 2025. That gave an opportunity for collective opportunities for procurement. We convened a meeting of all the city managers as well as the county offices to have that discussion in 21, 22. The end result was we went out and began looking for consultants to run a procurement process. In the interim, though, the city of Salinas opted to move forward with negotiating a new agreement with their existing incumbent hauler of public services. And the county also did that at the end of last year. So that left us with the four cities, South Valley cities, collectively looking at procurement for services. So the city managers asked if we would run that procurement ourselves because we did not have any interested consultants at the time. The authority took on that process because we have done it before and have a lot of documents and experience from prior RFP processes. And so we ran that in 2023. The results came back at the end of 2023, and unfortunately, they were much higher than we anticipated. We got results back that were somewhere in the range of 33% plus higher. We went back to all the city councils. All four city councils elected to reject those bids and directed the authority and staff to go back and begin negotiations with your incumbent, very similar to what both the county and the city of Salinas had done. So what you have in front of you today is a culmination of all that work for the last 2.5 years, 3 years. You have a negotiated agreement for continuation of those services for an additional 10 years with 5-year extensions at the end of that at the city's sole discretion if you wish to continue to extend those agreements beyond the initial 10-year period. Next slide, please. So what the agreement represents is continuation of all your existing services. You do have one of the best service packages in the Salinas Valley, actually probably in the county in terms of the breadth of services you get, particularly at the commercial level. Your hauler, Tri-Cities Disposal, provides unlimited recycling collection for your commercial businesses. No one else does that. All the other haulers either charge for that service or they have a limited amount of service they provide for each customer. So that provides you with a big benefit in complying with a lot of the new state regulations that have come into effect over the last 10 years. The big one being SB 1383, which is focused on organics reduction. There's also other issues that came around with that, standardized carts, labeling, colored carts. Those things are all in place now and are institutionalized within this agreement. There's also used battery collection. You also have bulky goods collection. You have customers can up to 4 times a year have 5 bulky items collected: refrigerators, large furniture, other types of appliances. Again, a service that you have that's far more robust than we see in the other cities. So that's another benefit you have with Tri-Cities. And then also they provide your street sweeping in conjunction with collection, which is another added benefit you have that really helps keep the streets cleaner by having that done in conjunction with your garbage collection. Next slide, please. So on average, the rate increase is around 13%. I know that is a big number for people to digest, but I want to tell you, we are seeing that pretty much consistent around California as other agreements are coming into play. There were some economic factors that really impacted this industry, the new regulations, a lot of OSHA and safety regulations, the price of steel, the price of metal, things that you and I may not see in our own cost of living for running a home, but things that inordinately affected haulers. There's also an event that happened, we all know, and that was the COVID period and the Great Recession, or not Great Recession, but the recession that happened afterwards. And because of that, a lot of labor contracts were renegotiated for the haulers. And unfortunately, like all the rest of them, Tri-Cities had to make adjustments to their labor agreements that were pretty substantial. And those were preceded by other labor unions with other hauling contracts within Monterey County and the adjacent counties also making pretty substantial increases in labor. So to be competitive and not to lose your drivers to the Bay Area or the South Bay Area, Tom has to pay his drivers a competitive wage to keep them employed. And so that kind of cascade of contracts has caught up with all the haulers, and that's why we're seeing the King City agreement, even the county's agreements have had pretty substantial increases as they have moved into the next generation of contract. So, and a few other things you'll see inside the labor market, changes in emission regulations, decline in recycling values. As you know, we're not recycling all the same things we were recycling when we started this program. It's really down to just 3 plastics, and there's a lot of restriction on how those materials can even be marketed. So it raises the cost of processing. And then, of course, there's consumer price indexes and insurance and other things that continually affect our industry. Next slide, please. So just a few sample rates. This is only a very small sample of the 100+ rates that are available in different service levels. These are some of the common ones. So you can see the change that'll be proposed with this contract and what that change would represent in the new rates for this contract effective next month. And the last slide is questions. So this agreement would become effective July 1st. It's a 10-year agreement with 2 5-year optional extensions. And again, those extensions are at the city's sole discretion. So you can choose to stay with Tri-Cities Disposal, or at the end of 10 years, you can choose to go a different direction. With that, I'll be happy to answer questions. And again, I think we already introduced the folks from Tri-Cities and my staff. I just want to give a great shout out, especially to Tom and Elia. Elia is your administrator. She administers this contract on a regular basis. I'm just a spokesperson tonight. But she really did a lot of hard work rounding up this, as well as all the other other cities we're negotiating the same contract for, because as you know, this is a consolidated contract. It's with the other 2 South Valley cities, Greenfield and Soledad. And then also we're doing a similar agreement has been approved with Waste Management in King City also at around the same rate adjustment. So yeah.
Great. Thanks, Patrick. I just want to mention Mayor Rios, council members, 2 things. One, it's touched on in the staff report. This has been a very positive collaborative relationship between the cities, the Waste Authority, and Tri-Cities Disposal. And the other item is just to mention that this is a public hearing item. And with that, we're ready for questions and discussion.
We'll start with this side of the room. So Oscar, do you have any questions or comments for staff or Mr. Matthews?
No, thank you for the report.
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Silva?
Thank you for the report. Is it possible to get a copy of that part that shows what the increase is going to be July 1st?
That's in the packet. That's actually at in the back of the contract itself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Only because I know there's an opportunity to give the information to our seniors as they gather for lunch this Thursday.
Yeah.
And I think it's an important piece to share with them.
Yeah, it's in the resolution.
Oh, in the
and It's
resolution.
also in the back of the agreement.
Great,
It's
thank you.
Appendix B.
Appreciate it.
And my question is for staff, are we putting something out to the folks, to our residents?
It's approved by you all to do that.
Yeah, because they need to see that this is happening. Just one more thing for everybody to think about. Thank you.
If there's no additional questions, then we thank you, Mr. Matthews. We'll open it up to the public for any comments from the public at this time. And seeing no onrush to the podium, then I'll go ahead and ask Monty Sola if we have any comments via Zoom.
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Any comments via email? Okay, we'll bring it back to, we'll close the public meeting and bring it back to the council. Any further discussions? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number 2025-41 as presented.
Second.
Okay.
And through the chair, I just.
Mr. Trunk.
Yep.
Through the chair, I just want to make sure that it was noted that you are improving it this evening or approving it to substantial form and content. There's always some last minute tweaks, particularly when we're dealing with 3 different cities and different entities and so forth. The signature line is the perfect example. If you note, the example that's in your agenda this evening, I believe, says that the mayors will sign when we have the city manager to have authority to sign off, and we're going to need to make those kinds of changes. But I just want to bring that to your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. All right, I have a first and I have a second for Ms. Orozco. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right, and I believe the next one is also you, Mr. Dobbins, and this is our wastewater treatment, industrial wastewater treatment plant. So if you could
yes.
read that to the record, I'd appreciate that, sir.
Mayor Rios, council members, yes, reading into the record, the recommendation is that staff recommends that the city council consider and adopt resolution 2025-43, a resolution of the city council of the city of Gonzales authorizing issuance of a notice to proceed with construction with Gateway Pacific Contractors for the industrial wastewater treatment facility, authorizing task order number 3 under a master service agreement with Dudek Consulting for design support during construction, and authorizing task order number 4 under a master service agreement with MNS Engineers for construction management and inspection services. Staff report. Well, skipping note, let's see. This is yet another very major critical milestone in expanding the city's wastewater system for residential development projects and industrial facilities. And a comment to make is, this is a very big one because we are headed into construction. We can talk about going to design, going to getting permits, getting it funded. It's when we finally are able to go before you and say, let's build this facility and move forward. So as the council's aware, the industrial wastewater system will be delivered under 2 separate contracts. Number 1, construct the industrial wastewater pipeline, which was issued for bid last June. And the contractors, let's see, it was awarded at the September 3rd council meeting. The contractor began field operations November 4th of 2024, and they'll complete the project by the end of this month. It basically is down to just connecting Braga Fresh to the pipeline that sits in the industrial business park. We've wanted to do this for the last couple of weekends, but what was best for Braga Fresh was this coming Sunday, and that's all good. So now turning to the matter at hand, the industrial wastewater treatment facility. It was issued for bid on January 25th, 2025, and on February 26th, we received and opened 6 bids. This came before you at your May 19th meeting, and one of the reasons for that was because we had 90 days for the contractor to hold their bid, and we needed to award it before that 90 days expired. So the bids were reviewed, and the most responsive and responsible bid was submitted by Gateway Pacific Contractors. That was done at your May 19th meeting, as I mentioned, in the amount of $23,584,000. Going to the bid opening, we had a $3 million shortfall for the overall industrial wastewater program. And with the low bid coming in $3 million over the engineer's estimate, we had a $6 million shortfall. Came before you in February council meeting, and in mid-March, we submitted a $6 million loan amendment request to the State Water Resource Control Board to supplement the city's $29 million state revolving fund loan. On May 30th, State Water Resource Control Board emailed city staff that the financial review had been completed and the city's requested $6 million loan amendment has been approved. I want to express my appreciation to our water sewer rate consultant, Lahovowicz and Sang, for building in sufficient cushion into the sewer rates adopted in November 2023, or else we would not be able to move forward with this project at this point in time. We would be probably going back out to increase the rates, but they had built in enough cushion that we were able to satisfy State Water Resource Control Board requirement of 120% debt coverage. Now that we've been approved for this amendment, they are preparing the amendment form that will be executed by the city council, and then it'll go back to the state. That's a process, and it's sort of extended by the fact that we and the state of California are closing out this fiscal year, so it's 3 or 4 months. In a conversation with the State Water Resource Control Board, they advised the city staff to move forward with the notice to completion, the notice to proceed with construction to Gateway Pacific in parallel with them preparing the state revolving fund loan amendment. There's an alternative to state staff's recommendation is we could wait for that, but we would basically give up 3 or 4 months, and staff's recommending we move forward because we will get this $6 million amendment form and hopefully be presented to at your first meeting in August. And then it goes to the state of California and they execute it. What was it? A year ago, I'm trying to remember time wise, but in January, we received word about the original $29 million amendment, and we finally received the fully executed $29 million SRF loan amendment in mid-July. So that's a period of time just for them to generate the contract. The schedule for the project is, of course, awarding, city council awarding it, the contract for construction. I'm sorry, you awarded the industrial wastewater contract at your May 19th meeting as mentioned. Tonight, staff's recommending that the notice to proceed is approved and that staff, we have the letter in your packet and basically we are making that effective July 1st. We will be holding a pre-construction meeting. Contractor mobilizes tentatively mid-August, construction complete spring of 2027. All told, this is by far the largest capital improvement program in the city's history, $38 million program, huge. That's soft costs and hard costs. So in conclusion, staff recommends that the city council adopt resolution 2025-43, resolution of the city council authorizing issuance of the notice to proceed with construction to Gateway Pacific Construction, authorize task order 3 to Duda Consulting for design support during construction, and authorize task order 4 the M&S engineers for construction management inspection. And that concludes my presentation. I'm ready for questions.
Okay. Questions in council?
None.
No, okay. Sounds like it was a good presentation. No questions. All right, well, go ahead and open this up to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to comment on this item may do so at this time. And again, no rush to the podium. So I will go ahead and look at Marisol and say, Marisol, do we have any comments via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Mary, any comments via email?
No comments being.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and bring it back for council action.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make the motion. We adopt resolution number 2025-43.
Second. Either one.
Either one. Ms. Orozco. All right, motion by Mr. Funk and second by Mr. Orozco. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item is number 18, excuse me, 18. And this is on eliminating the electric cigarettes.
Thank you.
Is that Mr. Tavin?
Mr. Tavin, yes. Thank you. Item 18, public hearing to consider waiver of second reading, adoption and reading by title only, ordinance number 2025-150, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Gonzales, amending chapter 4.70 tobacco licensing of Title IV Business and License Regulations of the City of the Gonzales City Code to prohibit the sale of all flavored tobacco products and to prohibit single-use electronic smoking products. And I have nothing further to add than that title.
Oh, better report. Excellent. Okay, any comments or concerns from council that you need to ask staff before I open it up? Okay, I'll open this up to the public for any comments from the public. Anyone wish from the public wishing to comment on this item may do so at this time. Again, no rush to the podium. Marisol, via Zoom, do we have any comments?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Mary, any comments via email? Thank you. And I'll bring it back for council discussion or motion.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I make the motion. We adopt ordinance number 2025-150.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. She carries. Yeah.
That's right.
The next one is on the bid process and
Thank you.
is that I'm assuming Carmen? Oh, Mr. Rodriguez, I forgot. Yes, sorry.
Mr. Rodriguez, all yours, sir.
So, yeah, the item is adoption of ordinance number, 2025-151, amending section 3.16.05, bidding procedures for public construction projects of chapter 3.16, purchasing procedures for Gonzales Code. You had a full report on this matter at the, last meeting. It was before you this evening for a public hearing. And then if, after the closure of the public hearing, as the council so inclined, to waive reading, adopt, and then, read into the record, the title of the ordinance, which I've essentially just, when I introduced this. If you recall, this particular ordinance will change the, monetary thresholds that are established for the three categories of public works contracts that we have in the code. The, informal, I'm sorry, the no bid, the informal, and the formal bid as established by the California Uniform Public Construction Accounting Act. Right now, they currently sit at the monetary thresholds that are established for each one of those categories need to be modified because the law was changed in January of this year to increase those thresholds. So just by way of example, the no bid now has gone up from 60,000 to 75,000. So in other words, any public works contract under $75,000 does not require us to go through the formal bidding process. So all of the new language is set forth in the ordinance that's attached to your agenda. There's a minor change also to the definition of a public works contract that we did, and then we did a little bit of housekeeping on some of the wording in one of the sections. So if there's no further questions, staff requesting that you go ahead, take any public comment at the public hearing, and then consider council action.
Okay. I'm assuming there's no questions for staff? Okay, then I'll go ahead and open it to the public. Any member from the public may comment on this item. No people rushing. Oh, any comments via Zoom, Marisol?
No comments via Zoom.
Mary, comments via email. Okay, then we'll go ahead and close the public comment period, bring it back for council discussion or action.
Adoption of ordinance number 2025-15 as presented.
151.
Did I, 151. Oh, I thought that was a colon. 151, sorry.
That's okay.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Wow, we're getting out of here.
Don't jinx it.
Committee reports. I'm starting and mine is League of Cities. I have nothing to report. Next is Mr. Funk with AMBAG.
Yeah, we actually, meeting this last week, and actually we only had one, item of discussion, which coincidentally was the REAP 2.0. Good discussion with AMBAG and so forth, and there was some funding left over for Gonzales. And the good news is, and talking to staff, and I understand they've been in conversation, are we with our city manager and what's happening as well. And yes, and the funds are due to be spent this fiscal year, which sounds like it works well on our budget. So thank you very much for your efforts.
Okay. MST.
I have requested data of our MST circulators to see how our community members are utilizing the MST circulators. That will be coming in the July meeting, which is on the 14th. We're doing a strategic planning for the next 3 years, and we'll be doing that in August. That's really all I have. Thank you.
Great. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to oral communication from council. And Mrs. Worthy, would you mind starting it?
Some of these things that we've had to do have been difficult, and I hope that our community understands. And I look forward to 25, 26.
Thank you. Ms. Silva.
Don't have anything else to add, but I would like to congratulate some of the best sportsmanship that we have in our community come from our youth. And I really enjoy seeing them come to our meetings and getting their certificates, wearing their uniforms. It really warms my heart. And then I guess we don't meet until after the holidays, so have a safe 4th of July. And remember, if you do see something, say something, call 911 if you see something illegal out there. Because without the input from the community, we cannot take care of our community. So thank you for keeping us safe.
Mr. Funk.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well said. Nothing else to add to that.
Okay. Ms. Orozco.
Yes, thank you. Well, I'd like to say that I attended and represented our council at the graduation ceremonies. I attended the adult school graduation ceremony and was very impressed to see the number of our residents who were getting their high school GED. Also, many of them who became US citizens, and also those who also received their phlebotomy certificates. There was quite a number of those participating. Also attended the high school graduation ceremony and was really excited to see some of our GYC members and students graduate, and they were so excited at the new stadium, and it was just a great event. 4th of July, just around the corner, Rotary, of course, is sponsoring, along with the city, the 4th of July celebration in the park. We have the famous barbecue rib tickets, which can be purchased by our Rotarian members. Keith, Carmen, Scott, and myself, we all have tickets. Parade will be taking place and departing from Centennial Park for all of those who want to participate in the parade. You can contact any of our members. Scott is the chair of the parade committee, so you can certainly contact him. And also, for those who want to have a booth, you can also contact us. We'll certainly have those applications already available for folks. And St. Theodore's Church is having their annual reverse draw in July. So I also have tickets for those, and I think Liz does too. So thank you. That's all I have. Very busy.
I really don't have anything. Again, I encourage everybody to be safe around the 4th of July. And I do want to comment that at least in my neck of the woods, like Councilman Soa, they've not really been up in the air, but literally, I mean, I don't know if it was next door. It could have been next door because my son's not even at home. He's on vacation. But pretty close by, there was such a loud boom last night that literally rattled the picture frames in our house. So I'm afraid someone's going to get hurt, and unfortunately, it's going to be by their own hand. I hope not, but it seems like now it's about the noise, not necessarily about the lights. So I don't envy you, Mr. Musho or Mr. Weiss. You guys are definitely going to be busy this coming 4th of July. It seems like they're back. I mean, I've heard it already started about 2 weeks ago. And I can't help but think it's going to get even louder as we get closer to the date.
Before the graduations.
Oh, that's right. Before the graduations, you're absolutely right. All right, moving on to city managers report.
I don't have a lot to add, just again, stay safe for 4th of July, call it in if you see it. But also be ready for the potential parcel tax survey. It should go live tomorrow, latest Wednesday. If you get questions from the community, please let them know that we are exploring the idea of a parcel tax. Folks will get it in multiple ways, and it's just important for them to know that it is indeed something the city is putting out. There's so many texts out there these days that you don't know what's real or isn't. And let them know that this is in fact a real one that we need data on. So and we'll come back to you with the results as we receive those. But just if you get calls or any questions, just let them know to fill it out. Don't answer too many questions because we want to know what people know as of now and what we need to educate folks on. So, but people can call me too if they have questions. It's more important to let them know that it is a real survey. So please complete it. That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else from the good of the?
Mr. Dobbins has one item.
So two quick things. One is the paving in front of the community center is proceeding on schedule. It was paved, of course, the northbound side, which was paved today. We even squeezed in some emergency work by PG&E on Friday where they needed to remove a gas transducer. We told them, but you better do it now or you don't cut this road for 5 years. So they jumped on that and mobilized. And then on a personal side, just wanted to say a most excellent Father's Day watching my son walk the commencement stage at UC Santa Barbara. Yes, thank you.
Get him off of back to dad.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to you on one down, one to go, correct?
There you go. Mr. Mayor, if I could follow up on the paving. So I know we have the signage on the outer side, I'm sorry, so I guess we know the west side of Fish Street for the siding for commercial trucks off the turn. Are those signs gonna remain there by chance after?
We would be hurt if they were, you
No,
know.
thank you. It has crossed my mind that, yes, I want to buy those signs and leave them there. And,
And then a follow-up question is, can we get a similar sign to sit on the, I know we can't sit it on the Caltrans property, but can we put a similar sign right there at the corner of Fish Street off the bridge?
Yeah.
Encourage them not to turn on Fish
there you
Street.
go. Yes, thank you. And, well, I wish, we did add a little bit of paving work
Yeah.
to what's going on. And, you know, the schedule is we will be, fingers crossed, stay on track.
Yeah.
We'll be paving the south side this coming Friday, open to
Mhm.
the public, after that. We've advertised that should we need the next Monday, we wanted to at least put it out that way, but we're on track to finish this Friday.
Mhm.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Looks great.
Yes.
Well, my wife still has to remember to make a left rather than a right.
That's
Yeah. All right. Michael, would you be so kind as to lead us into our next little subject? Yes, yes, sir. Close session.
Yeah.
Section 5495731, your evaluation. The second item is city council will recess closed session pursuant to government code section 549.6.9A. Control with its attorney regarding any litigation that was initiated formally, which the city is resolving, and the litigation foreign, which the city is resolving.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and there is anyone from the public wishing to comment on either of these two closed items may do so at this time. Again, no rush of people. Then I'll go ahead and ask Marisol, do we have any comments via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Mary, any comments via email?
No comments via email.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and close that item down and we'll go into closed session. So let us go ahead and clear council chambers, please.